Hello, it's so beautiful here today. Don't let the sun fool you, it's freezing. I have an Asian pear harmony. Oh my goodness, that is heaven. Um, I just bought this like random pack. I didn't even know that they made all these flavors of teas. I actually really want to start growing my own tea, but for now this works. I want to tell you a story, and I think it might take 2 segments, and I apologize about that, but I promise that if it does, I will upload it immediately. And I'm a woman of my word. I say what I mean, and I do what I say. So I will upload it instantly. If it does take 2. This is the guy that I was engaged to. And when people like who know me now or met me recently see that I was engaged after my marriage, they're like, wait, what? You were engaged at one point? What happened? Why are you not married? Whew, so many things happened. And let me just tell you that I am really glad we didn't get married. Just parts of me wish that I could have avoided the whole thing. But like the pragmatic part of me realizes that we learn from all of our situations, right? So oh gosh, that smells really good. I met this guy when I was at church with my cousin. So I was helping my cousin with this really cool program that helped people like transition from being in prison to the real world. And I primarily helped with like the music and the worship. I really loved it. It was so much fun. I got into it because my cousin was connected, and I just loved it. Like I was there every single week. So I met this guy. He at the time that I met him, he had been in prison. Like I was aware of that. But it was like 20 years ago, and he was fully rehabilitated according to all of the, and you can probably tell where this is going. There's a bit of foreshadowing here. But he was fully rehabilitated according to all the metrics that there could be. It'd been decades. Like he was now a leader in this program, and everybody around him thought that he was a stand-up guy. Friends with my cousin, all that stuff. So anyway, originally we met right after my divorce was happening, and I had more free time on the weekends, and I would spend a part of my weekend kind of traveling down there to help with the ministry. And so it was really good for me, and I enjoyed all the people that I met there. And after COVID, it never came back alive after COVID, and I do miss that time of my life, and I'm so grateful for it. But anyway, that's where I met him. We started out just kind of like, acquaintances, kind of knew each other on occasion, would see each other once in a while, and then so over like a year and a half of time, kind of started to know each other a little bit better. And then he got a little bolder and actually asked me out for lunch to get to know each other a little bit better. And I knew he had a past, and I asked really good questions about his past, about where he was at, about how things were progressing in his life. And I feel like I asked really good questions. I don't feel like I failed in that regard. But he still omitted a lot of information. And so just knowing that explains a little bit more about it. So he had asked me out at a time when my mother was losing her battle with breast cancer. My mom was a very strong woman. She fought for 10 years. For about 8 of those years, my dad was her primary caregiver, and I was more secondary, and then we had a lot of help from her friends. And even my daughters were really helpful, with her care. But after my dad passed away, then I became the primary and secondary caregiver, and I was going through a divorce, and, just all the everything. It was just a lot. And she did really well for a long time, and then her last 4 to 6 months, it was a pretty rapid, aggressive decline. And looking back now, I realize that, of course, I'm sharing all of this with my friend group that's at this ministry, right? Like we meet every week. It's like a support type of scenario. Of course, everybody knows what's going on. And he happened to ask me out, when things had taken a turn for my mom. And now looking back, I can see that he was, no joke, taking advantage of my weak spot. And he was swooping in on purpose when I was vulnerable. I didn't see it at first. And I will say our entire relationship lasted a matter of weeks. Okay. And I'm going to claim insanity because within this time frame, my mom died. So, I mean, I feel like when you have a bad breakup, you cut your hair, you dye your hair, you might get a piercing or a tattoo. But like when a parent dies, that's an even bigger freak out. So she died within that time frame. So I'm going to claim temporary insanity from grief and just fully admit that I was an idiot. Okay. I was an idiot, but this happened. So yeah, he took me out like, I want to say the day or two after she died, he finally actually asked me out. And he did it in a way that was like a very supportive, let me help you. I know you're going through a lot. Let me take you out to lunch to give you a break from, because we went right into like clearing out her apartment because we had a time limit of things, right? And my brother was only here for a little while. So he took that route. He had a truck. He was very helpful. He was helping me move things. He would come to my mom's apartment to be with me when other people would meet, to buy some of her furniture and all this stuff. Like, he was very helpful. But it quickly turned into like romantic overtures, and he was wanting to have a relationship. I felt safe with him because I had known him for so long. My cousin had known him even longer. All these people that I trusted and respected said that he was a good guy. So I leaned into it. I mean, I was kind of freshly off the divorce still. I mean, it was like a year and a half or so after the divorce, but like I was new to that part of my life. I was still thinking maybe I would want to get married again. And, all these things are just swirling in my brain, plus like 90% insanity, plus another 50% of being lonely and another 80% of being sad, like just this wonderful man is swooping in and taking care of so many things. So maybe I should trust him, right? Well, then he surprises me with an engagement. And in the back of my head, I was like, this is too soon. What are you doing? But also you hear those stories of people who met and 2 days later they're married and then they have 80 happy years together. And I'm a romantic and I was an idiot because of everything that I was going through. So I said yes. And everything changed. I said yes, and I no longer knew the man that was sitting in front of me. I said yes, and all hell broke loose. And at that point, it lasted less than a week. I won't go through everything because I don't have time, but just to put it in perspective, I said yes, and I suddenly wasn't allowed to wear sunglasses because he would be worried that I'd be checking out another man. I said yes, and then suddenly he was dictating that once we were married, I wouldn't be allowed to have any servicemen in the house or he would divorce me because that was considered cheating to have another man in the house for any reason whatsoever. I said yes, and he suddenly was telling me that I couldn't disclose past relationships due to the color of their skin. Like I had to deny that I had dated a person with certain skin colors. I said yes, and he is screaming at me when my eyes flick over because somebody's walking by and he thinks that I'm checking out another guy and want to be with them. And he's kicking me out of his car. It was bad. It was so bad. I ended it so quickly at that point, and it was a bit dramatic. Things got said, things got moved around. Come to find out, his parole officer called me. And I didn't realize that he was still so deep in that process. So that was quite a surprise. Sorry, have to go to part 2.